Newegg just announced a trade-in program for GPUs. I have no idea if it's any good. All I did was link it to the WAN Show team and say, Newegg trade-in program GPUs, I curious. So I'm going to read this now for the first time. Newegg's trade-in program for used graphics cards soft launched earlier this month, but not officially announced. I think now officially announced is what they meant. How it works. Newegg first estimates the trade-in value of a user's graphics card. The lowest estimation is $30 for a 4 gig Radeon RX 5500 XT, and the highest is $561 for an RTX 3090 Ti. Now, I'm not an expert on buying used things. JK, I'm pretty good at it. But those do not seem like very good prices.
This feels like EB Games scamming. Yeah, it is, basically. So if you want to be lazy as heck, you can just get hosed on the value of your item.
Hold on a second. Let's just... Okay. So used 3090 Ti's are worth more like... Okay, here's one that went for $800. This is as is. Ignore this one. What? Brand new. This. What is this?
Those are Skazams, I think.
Yeah. Used. Okay. You didn't even list the gigs right, though. Come on, brother. So somewhere in the, this is an auction. Okay, somewhere in, I think, the 750 to 1,000 range. There are ones that go, okay, really? Wow. Okay. Well, these are clearly not worth...
That's so weird to me.
...quite as much as I thought in some cases. But let's go ahead and back to my notes here. They are all worth more than $561 by a lot. Now, I don't think it's fair to necessarily see a low trade-in price and say, scam. There is a value to the service they're providing, and they are doing actual work. They have to validate these cards. They have to create this program. They have to pay the people who administer it. However,
looking at the prices that you just brought up, it's actually a lot better than I expected.
However, it's very clear to me that if you wanted to try your hand at the used market, you would be able to get more money for your card. It's just that, as Luke already alluded to, not everybody is comfortable with that, and not everyone wants to do the work. I mean, privately selling your vehicle is something that is objectively a way to get way more money for it, because it's math, right? If the dealer is going to sell it for more than what they pay you, which they will, then you, if you could just find that person, could sell it for more. It's just a matter of whether you want to deal with people flaking you on Facebook Marketplace and doing a bunch of paperwork. And
keep thinking you're done. Shelby in Floatplane Chat said 6 months ago they sold their 3090 Ti, which was broken, for $700.
Yeah, but that was 6 months ago. That was a very, very different market.
I did ask them how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. After the user buys a new GPU, so you also, this is another sort of drawback to the program, depending on how you see it. You do have to buy a new GPU from Newegg. It's a trade-in. They don't just buy your old hardware. Newegg will send a prepaid label to return your old card to them in the next 14 days. Once the card is inspected and is found to match the conditions that you reported, the value of the card is refunded from the original payment. Cards older than the NVIDIA RTX 20 series or the AMD RX 5000 series, which were launched in 2018 and 2019 respectively, are not eligible for trade-in. Can you believe that RTX 20 series launched in 2018? We have gotten, in that time, in that 5 years, we have gotten 2 refreshes.
That's actually pretty wild.
Users could likely get a better return. Oh, yeah, okay. Users could likely get a better return selling their used graphics card elsewhere, but Newegg appears to be framing the program as a convenient, low-hassle way to sell old GPUs rather than as a way to get the best possible price.
And honestly, I was expecting to see like $1,100, $1,200 for a lot of the cards that we saw. The pricing that they're offering is better than I expected.
Let's have a look at what a GPU is worth to Newegg. According to Newegg, they will be refurbishing, then selling the used cards with a 30-day warranty. So they do intend to make a profit here. Honestly, I don't know why this took this long. I couldn't figure out, like, knowing that hardware was definitely worth monies when I was at NCIX, I couldn't figure out why we didn't just play in the used hardware space. I can tell you right now, they are making more on these than they're making selling brand new GPUs. There's so much more money in used hardware. So let's have a quick looky boo. Some of these seem pretty out to lunch. That 3090 Ti for $561 is, in my opinion, not even the most egregious.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It might be the farthest off in terms of
Total dollars.
But this RTX 2060 6 gig for $90, there is no way that percentage-wise, that is not way far off. Okay, what's a 2060? And maybe I'm wrong.
Using your own arguments, they still have to do the same amount of work to refurbish it and inspect it and all that kind of stuff.
Holy crap, 2060s are not worth anything. Oh, okay, hold on. Some of these are going for more, but like $70? What?
Oh, wow.
I take the Newegg deal. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What was it? Did I say $90? I'm sorry. I have about the short-term memory of a flea.
Yeah,
so.
90.
Okay, so...
That's not bad looking at this, honestly.
It's actually not that bad. I was ready to dunk on this super hard.
It's really... so was I. It's not that bad.
Like, if you get top dollar for your card, like, Buddy here did.
But there's a bunch on here that are going for 100, even 110.
It also matters a lot if you've got some, like, OEM-ass, like, looking card like this, or if you have, like, ROG stretch, and it doesn't look like Newegg differentiates.
They don't seem to delineate,
and I understand why, because from a performance standpoint,
annoying.
It doesn't matter.
It would also just be really annoying.
Newegg knows it doesn't matter.
Oh, that $70 one was parts only.
Oh, was it? Okay, hold on. Let me keep poking at it. I still, there were quite a few that were quite inexpensive. Here, where's oh no, they're mostly over $100. Parts only, the Dell one. Okay, yep, you're right. They're mostly over $100, but there are some that
but
are
it's $90 from Newegg. So if the over $100 is like 110,
120, 125,
a ton of people are gonna skip the needing to do anything for $20 or $30.
Especially if you factor in what your time is worth. I think it's pretty safe to say that if you have never done it before, if you have to actually set up an account and like learn a buy sell trade site or something like that, I think it's pretty safe to say
eBay fees as well. There are ways to get around that.
Well, yeah, but as a buyer,
makes it more complicated.
You shouldn't get around the eBay fees because that's where your buyer protection comes from.
Yeah,
is paying through the platform.
Yeah, because you could isn't Craigslist free?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace is also free.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yep, there's no fees there, but you will pay in the time that you will spend just like around messaging random people who flake you or don't show up when they say they will and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to pretend that the process of buying and selling stuff online is perfect.
If I could get $120 for my card, or I could just get a guaranteed $90 through Newegg, it's pretty likely I'm going to get the guaranteed.
There's no way you would.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Luke, right now, I will give you $120.
Hey.
But you have to sell that water bottle on Facebook Marketplace, or I'll give you $90 and you don't bother.
Yeah, I'd sell the water.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
There's no question. You were speaking nonsense before. That was actual nonsense.
Okay, but I think a lot of people would do that.
I called you so hard and you got wrecked. This is the face of a man who was recently wrecked. He's so relaxed about it.
I just, when you get caught out, sometimes you just got to accept it. It is what it is. I do think a lot of people would do that, though.
Yeah, I was more peeved about it when I thought that the prices were really far off, but they seem to be a little less far off than I thought. I'm not logged into Facebook on this computer, so I'm not able to compare to Facebook Marketplace right now.
Is it generally cheaper?
I totally am logged into Facebook on this computer. I must have had to do this before. Okay, cool. Which one should I search first? Should I do the 2060? Okay, let's do the 2060. Okay, this is in Canadian dollars, so I'm going to have to do a quick calculatrice here.
Dan Good 122 says, I work for PayPal. Please don't try to avoid the fee. I see so many scams where people ask for personal payments and then screw people over. I do agree with that. I'm going to take this moment, though, to say, like, holy crap, working with PayPal is horrible. And if there's anyone there, if you can get me in contact with someone who could actually somehow incite some change over there, I would love to have a conversation with them. PayPal is literally the worst vendor that we have to work with in regards to financial stuff. It's actually a nightmare. There's also like extremely major security problems with your dashboard in regards to how multi-users are able to work within it that Dan had to deal with recently, where like you could make it so that a user couldn't do certain things and that user could just go in and turn it back on, and lots of other very extreme problems. So
Do you want to tell us how you really feel?
Let me know. Would love to talk about it.
Prices on Canadian Failbook are anywhere from around $140 to $150+ depending on the grade of card that it is. There's some very optimistic people here. That's 250 Canadian dollars. That ain't happening.
Oh, you were adjusting for USD already?
Mm-hmm. That ain't happening with this Dell OEM card. But one of the issues with Facebook is that unlike eBay, which is an imperfect system, to be clear, but unlike eBay, you can't actually see what things sold for. So there could be negotiation that's going on and you have no way of checking what a completed listing went for, and it's hard to tell exactly how it's hard to tell exactly how close that is to what you would actually pay for it. Like a lot of the times, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, if you're just like, hey, I am around the corner right now, here is literally a picture of the money in my hand. It's a little bit less than what you asked for, but I will be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's amazing when people don't need to waste their time, how open they are to selling things for a little bit less than what they wanted, which is exactly what Newegg is going for.
Yeah.
Overall, I think this kind of sounds like a
seems cool to me.
Okay
at least
thing.
as an option.
It sounds like an okay.
I think you should check like every time.
Yes.
But it's a decent option. And I think if you have a like low end version, it's almost always going to be a lot more worth it. If you have some blinged out version, you should probably try to
some
do
like
the
water cooled card or something. Like, man, water cooled last gen cards are hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
It's for that reason that in a lot of cases I would actually recommend buying an air cooled card and water blocking it yourself compared to buying a water blocked card, because
I think about the user that's going to buy it.
You will pay the water block premium for the pre-water cooled one, but you won't get an air cooler to put back on the card when it's time to sell it. And nobody who's building a system that has $600 worth of pumps and blocks and fittings and tubing is buying a last gen card. Why would they do that? If they have money for water cooling crap, they have money for a current card. So it's a very, very challenging situation. Meanwhile, I just bought 5 last gen water cooled cards. So unless you find a me, then you're in trouble. I wanted to go EVGA for the LAN center. Yeah, EK had a bunch of their old 3080 blocks on clearance because that's what happens. And I found a bunch of EVGA XC3 3080s. So our LAN center is all EVGA all the time. And by the way, those cards are f***ing rock solid.
Oh, yeah.
I ran a 12-hour Furmark last night because... Are you mad?
Can we talk about cards being rock solid?
Are you mad?
Can we talk about cards being rock solid?
And heart touching? Or sorry, where are we going with this?
No, we released our AMD video.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed.
Oh, why?
Because I sent you a message about this. I got Linus'd.
You got Linus? I
got Linus'd.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It sucks. People watched the first bit of me talking and then just left the video, as far as I can tell.
Oh, okay. So it's nothing I did wrong.
No.
Okay, I was like, no. I reviewed this video. I thought it was a really good video.
No, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's a good video.
The amount of people that are just spamming the hell out of me that I've got a solution to this, one of the problems that you had.
Even when they're trying to be helpful.
People.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing the Trump thing. The best people, good people. No, no, like it's a lot of it is like people genuinely trying to be very helpful and positive and stuff. But like, oh my God, I'm getting rocked with people talking about it. There's also people like trying to condemn me for testing it in an unacceptable environment. And I'm like, it's fine now. There aren't any problems. I'm crashing in Starfield very rarely. And no other game or other scenario ever is crashing or having any issues. What do you want?
So, for context, if you haven't watched the video at all, Luke opens his section talking about driver instability, system crashes, performance issues, stuttering, and then goes on to explain that his setup is a little bit unconventional with a PCI Express riser, a secondary power supply plugged into the card with his primary power supply powering the CPU and drives and everything else. And so people are latching onto that going, user error, user error, user error. You're doing something wrong. But the thing that people got to understand is that if they were to finish watching the video, then they would hear Luke talk about how now, with driver updates from AMD, that exact same system, with that exact same PCIe riser, and also with an external power supply and everything the same as it was before, is
rock solid.
Rock solid.
And there's people in chat talking about it right now. There's a bunch of NVIDIA people crashing in Starfield. It just crashes. It's not. I don't think this is AMD's fault. I can't say that it never happened because it did technically. So I'm trying to be like honest.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the card's fault. It's just a game that crashes.
I think that basically what we all need to try to internalize is that AMD is not going to suck your
Yeah. I'm putting that away. I feel like I'm a target right now. But yeah, it's really good now. And one bit of context, I guess, with the way that I said things and framed things, and I do have to admit this, is that was even filmed a few weeks ago at this point.
Yep. Yeah, and it's probably better by now. But
I have even more context.
We can only talk about what happens. And that's the thing you guys got to understand is we're not on a team. We're not on Team Intel, Team AMD, Team NVIDIA. We don't give a shit. At the end of the day, you know, the point of these switched videos is that we tried it and we talked about our experience. Okay.
Yeah. NW Gat in Full Plane Chat said, makes no sense to blame AMD for game engine bugs, though. I didn't. I literally, in the video, I say, I don't know.
I think we got someone who didn't watch the video here.
Yeah, I say in the video that, like, I don't know how to, like, say this or frame this, but these don't feel like GPU issues. I say that in the video.
Yeah, it's
because I also can't say
I was there when he said
definitively that it is the game engine.
No. We don't know as a user.
I can't say definitively that it's not the GPU.
But what we know is that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if someone's coming from a console, for example, and their expectation is that things just work, I mean, to the extent that they even do just work on consoles these days, but anyway, if their expectation is that it just works, then it didn't just work. And we have no way of controlling who someone's going to blame. So whenever an issue does come up, our reason for flagging it is, hey, Bethesda, AMD, y'all got to get together, figure out whose fault this is, point all your blame fingers that you need to point, and iron this out, because at the end of because it's going to ruin the experience for the user, and they're going to refund the game or they're going to refund the card, and you have no way of controlling which one they're going to refund. So you guys got to work together. You got to get it sorted out. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. So like, it should be a bigger props. I think almost like we've given them their licks over the launch experience being bad.
It was really bad.
But I also want to give them very good prompts that it is currently, that it is currently in a very good spot. And I feel like the reason why I'm frustrated is I think that got brushed over because people are still thinking that I have issues. I don't have issues. It's a great experience currently.
Luke, if I had $1 for every time...
This is why I said I got Linus.
I said something in a video and then people stopped watching and completely took away the wrong point.
Yeah.
I'll probably be about where I am today. Happens a lot, but I'm doing all right.
Wow, what a flex. Oh man. But yeah, that's why yeah. Anyways, I don't know.
I gotta wait till he's drinking. I'm gonna get him one of these days. I can't control.
That's why I put it down earlier. I wasn't even looking at him, but I could tell he was hungry for it. So like Dan almost got me when I was about to take a drink. Then he was like, "No, this is mine," and I was like, "I gotta bail out."
I can't control it. It's like an impulse for me and I feel like this bites me in the butt a lot because I have this type of humor where I will go for the driest, straightest possible delivery of the most offensive thing I can possibly say in that, or the most, not offensive, but the most outlandish thing that I can possibly say in that moment. And whether it's people watching a video and tuning out right after I said that, or whether it's even in-person interactions sometimes where people think I am legit for reals serious when I will say this kind of stuff, I feel like I get bitten by that a lot.
Pretty often, yeah.
Yvonne...
Well, it's the easiest thing to pull out of context and then make...
Well, Yvonne's given me... Well, it's the classic, I'm not saying Hitler was right, you know? Almost got him.
How do you put up with this, man? I don't understand.
I don't know.
He's all right.
That got me.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I do open myself up to it a lot, whether it's self-deprecating humor or whether it's just, that I will say something ridiculous just to see that Yvonne has this face she makes when I say just the most completely offensive, sexist.
I think I know.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, because I will especially pull it in like group settings, and it drives her absolutely nuts. Man, I forget what. Oh man, I did it in an exec meeting recently. She was not happy about that. I think it was 2 weeks ago in the staff meeting. I forget exactly what I said, but basically, and I've told her 100 times, the only reason I say these things is so you'll make that face. And she's just like, it's involuntary. I can't help it. I'm just like, I can't even do it. It's amazing. I'm going to try and get it on camera sometime. And then I'll bring it on Wench. I'll show you guys. This is the look I'm trying to get Yvonne to make. And it's not because I believe any of what I'm saying.
No.
It's just because it's really, really funny.
It just bothers. You just got to be careful about the attendees at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? Well, that's the thing is,
because it has to be people that know that you believe often the opposite of the thing that you say.
So I have it. That's basically like trust me, bro, in a nutshell. Is I make this assumption that nobody could possibly believe that I am like that perception, that this thing I'm saying would actually be a straight-faced portrayal of my character, but people actually do. And what I'm trying to do a lot of the time is I'm trying to say something that is just ridiculous. And what I'm realizing more and more is, satire is dead, right? Like you can't.
Satire on the internet is just really hard for both parties, because there are people that will say that stuff with a straight face.
Well, that's what I mean.
And is there?
What's the term for that?
I'm looking it up. I'm trying to.
Oh, well, all right.
Sorry.
But it's like you can't. Truth is stranger than fiction. It's like what the South Park writers said. They were like, we're not even going to try to parody politics anymore. Not parody, but we're not even going to try and write satire about politics anymore, because the truth
everything's
is
so outlandish.
Poe's law.
Poe's law.
Poe's
what is
law.
Poe's law?
All right.
And who's Poe?
I don't know, but he has a law.
Edgar Allan, by any chance?
No.
Is an adage of internet culture saying that without a clear indicator of the author's intent, any parodic or sarcastic expression of extreme views can be mistaken by some readers for a sincere expression of those views. The law is frequently exploited by individuals who share genuine extremist views and when faced with overwhelming
They
criticism
backtrack
deflect
it by using this.
by insisting they were merely being satirical.
That is true.
I've seen that.
We've also walked in. I
Yep.
had a conversation with someone about this recently where there's something that you and I have actually said a bunch that I had no idea was like a dog whistle for this thing that neither of us
Oh, was
agree
it
with or
like
believe
this
in.
or something?
No. I don't
Okay, because
remember what it was.
I found out this is like white power or something. I'm like, no, it just means okay.
Especially if you're someone who dives, which both of us do.
Yeah.
That is literally exactly what you're
Super
supposed to do.
especially means okay.
Yeah, because
I
if
did
you
it in,
do if you do thumbs up when you're diving, it means I need to ascend now.
Yeah.
It's good for lighting as well because you're often like 1,000 feet away and going like this is like you can't really see anything. But if you got your hand open,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
good. The light is good there.
Yeah.
We are not white supremacists.
Yeah.
I could say that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, sometimes it's like, oh my God, like, okay, I don't know every single cultural reference in like the world. I'm not trying to dog whistle this thing that I didn't even know was a thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, sometimes it's difficult to navigate.
I don't know. Especially being in Canada, I feel like we end up just kind of like isolated from this stuff sometimes.
Fairly sheltered from a lot of those things.
Yeah. Just have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.